But what I do know is that stigma, it's learned.
Yeah.
And I do know that anything that's learned can be unlearned.
It can be unlearned.
And so we don't have.
Hey, it's your girl Yaya Dawn, and welcome to another episode of the A Podcast. This week, we are doing something a little different. As part of an anti-stigma campaign with Gilead, we are going to discuss love is greater than stigma. So welcome. This is going to be a podcast amplifying the voices, stories, and resilience of people aging with HIV and those who love them. So for decades, HIV has been surrounded by silence, fear, and misunderstanding. But behind every diagnosis is a life filled with strength, love, and purpose. This space is about breaking stigma, celebrating survival, and honoring the journeys of those who have lived, loved, and thrived over time. Because aging with HIV is not just about living longer, it's about living fully. So here, we remind the world that love, community, and dignity will always be greater than stigma. And so to help me jumpstart this campaign, I have two amazing sisters. I have Ms. Marsha Jones. She is the strategic consultant.
Executive Strategic
She's
Advisor.
the Executive Strategic Advisor for a brand new organization called WOO, which stands for Women's Health and Evolutionary Wellness, that focuses on Black women, our policy, maternal justice.
Keep going. I'll take care of it when I get there.
I'll let her explain that, as well as her truly amazing daughter, Mrs. Taquan Penny. So y'all help me welcome these two beautiful ladies, and then they can do an introduction of who and exactly who they are and what they do.
So you ready for me?
I'm ready for you.
Okay, so really thank you, Ms. Yolanda, for inviting me to come and do this. I don't do this a lot, so I don't get outside and talk to people a lot. I enjoy being in. But anyway, I did this because I think that it's always really important that people who are impacted with HIV, as well as people who are living with HIV, there should always be an opportunity that we're talking, right? Mm-hmm. And so I have not had this particular conversation with my daughter yet, not in a space such as this. And it's just going to be part of the conversation. It's not going to be the real conversation. Mm-hmm. The real conversation is coming. Okay. And so I just took that advantage. And plus, I just respect the work that Yolanda do. So because of that, and anybody that's centered Black women, that's always going to be a special place in my heart. And so as I am the founder and the executive strategic advisor for Women's Health and Evolutionary Wellness, and I have a long history of this work in reproductive justice. I started the first reproductive justice organization in Texas that was founded by Black women, centering Black women, the whole thing. And so it just made sense that work continued. And so Women's Health and Evolutionary Wellness is not necessarily a continuation of that work, but it is a new reiteration of that work, whereby which we are looking at how important it is that we connect policy with our health outcomes, and understanding that health and wellness is not the same thing. Until we have evolutionary wellness, people will never really be healthy, or you can be healthy but yet still not be well. So we're going to bring those two worlds together. So that's what I do, making sure that happens, and I'm on the road to retirement.
Thank you, Miss Marsha. Now, you, Mrs. Taquan Penny.
Hi.
Hey.
Hey. Thank you for having me. So I am Taquan Penny. I would consider myself a long-time self-advocate for myself as well as women living with HIV. I am the lead for the HIV work happening at Women's Health Evolutionary Wellness. I am also a mommy, a wife, and a granny. And I enjoy all those things. Doing all that brings me much joy in my life. And now finding my way into leadership within the HIV community has added another layer of joy for me. So I'm happy to be here today. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Listen, so you all know how I feel about y'all.
No, I don't. Yeah.
Yeah. And I couldn't think of a better duo to start this campaign off with than you two. Because, Ms. Marsha, I see the love, I see the support that you have for Tequan. And Tequan, I just see you as thebomb.com. I don't think that there's anything that you cannot do. That's just how I feel. So, but we're going to delve right into this. You know, I had a couple of questions for you all. And my first question is, this could probably be for both of you. What do you wish more people understood about living in a family impacted by HIV?
You want to take that one first? Or you want me to take
Since it's the family, I kissed the Becky.
Okay.
So what I think is important for families living with people who have people in their family that are living with HIV is that not be a focus. There's no different. What I want people to know is there's no different with having people in your family living with HIV is there are having people in your family that's pregnant or having people in your family that's got a cold or having people in your family that might be diabetic having like there's no like there should be no line. There should be no, oh, this person is like, what are we doing? So that's what I wish people who have family members that they know, because you could very well have people in your family and you don't know. So I just wish that people that have people in their families that are living with HIV, that not be a thing. Like that never has to come up on the table. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am.
There's never a time. I don't think there's ever been a time that we have sat together as a family and somebody said, oh, you know.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, the way I look at it is that a person's HIV status is relevant only as it relates to what the outcome of what you all are going to do. As if, like, if you are diabetic, you only need to know I'm diabetic if you're going to cook me something to eat. Because I need to make sure that you're cooking food that's not going to kill me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's and that's the way we've always felt. And I would hate to have to say it, but she's not the only person in my family.
Right.
You know, or the only person that I have that I love with everything that's within me. And I didn't see their HIV status either. I saw them.
I love that. And what about you, Ms. Kwani?
I would pretty much echo what my mom just said. Because I was so young when I received my diagnosis, it wasn't a scolding. It wasn't a, that's what you get. It wasn't any of that. My whole family, which only consists of my mom, myself, and my two siblings, they all rallied around me and just loved on me. No different, you know, it was nothing different. We all went to doctor's appointments together. You know, it was like a family plan of what we're going to do next. So I would say treat folk like folk. You know, the same way you would treat anybody else that come in your door. We don't know everything that's going on with, you know, all our family members that come in. So just because you know this thing about me, it shouldn't be a difference, you know. And that within my family, I've never experienced that, you know. So all I know is to, you know, be loved and give love. And that's what, you know, people in families need to do. Just love us through.
And that's what we do with everything. So like she said, we went to the doctor together. We do that with everything. Jessica had a car wreck. We were all there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Adarian had his health issues. I've always had some health issues. We all go to the Adarian's doctor's appointments.
Yes,
we
ma'am.
all. So that's just not something we did just because of that. That's just what we do.
Family, just family.
And I just wish families, that's
Yeah.
what I wish families would do. But anyway, if you have another question.
So you know what?
I just like that one.
One of the reasons that I was drawn to you all in the beginning is because I feel that your family mimics mine. My family is back home. And so, you know, I assure them, I let them know, look, y'all can rest comfortably because I have a family here in Dallas who is so like my blood family that I'm good. You know, Kwani, I too, I was young when I received my diagnosis. And so as a teenager, who am I going to run to when I'm going to run to my parents, right? And so I thank God that I have a family that that allowed me to lean on them, to stand on their shoulders, to support me throughout this entire journey.
Yeah.
That's where my mantra came from. Love is greater than stigma.
Yeah.
I picture my family and the support that they have brought and that they continue to bring for me. So I love that, and I wish there were more families out here that felt the same way. And if you are a family member, if you are impacted by HIV through family, through blood, through love, go ahead, share your comments. Let me know what you all think. Okay? But moving on, I have another question. So, outside of health conversations, Miss Marsha, what are some things about you, about Tiquan, that you are most proud of right now?
She's such she is such a go-getter.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like there's no obstacles that Taquan cannot overcome. Taquan takes care of our family. She takes care of, even though she's vision impaired, she takes care of the family. And so I love seeing that. She almost reminds me of my older sister. Like, she is the older sister, right? So my son is the oldest, but, you know, if you've come in a family where there's girls and boys, that girl is normally going to be the one who act like the oldest.
Right.
And so Taquan, that's her. Nothing gets by her. She loved people. She opens up her doors sometimes. It's like, Taquan, you can't take care of everybody. You know, people ain't got nowhere to live. Come to Kwani house. My son, my first grandson, his mom, they realized that she was sick when she was born, and we knew that we wasn't gonna have her long. And the way she leaned on Taquan, and when she did pass, it's like Taquan just stepped in and started to take care of my grandson. And Adarian, my son, never got in the way, you know.
Right.
And he could not have anyway. But but the way she raised that boy was just amazing. And so that's just the way she is. She just didn't do it for that one. She have because my kids brought folk home like cats and dogs. And there was another young man in our family. You may hear us talk about him sometime, Lee. And she do the same thing with his kids. His boys right now call her before they call him. Like, that's just the kind of person that she is. Like, she is that person that embodies what family is. And that's probably what I love about her the most, the way she stands on business.
And she definitely does that. Definitely. So, Kwani, I have a question for you. When you hear the words, love is greater than stigma, what comes to mind? What does that represent for you?
Love.
Okay.
You know, that love has no boundaries. It has no limits. And as long as stigma can be drowned out with love.
For sure.
That's what I hear when I hear that. You know, I tell you all the time when I love that quote from you because it represents so much. But love can be so loud that stigma back somewhere echoing. You know, and we don't even know about it anymore. But, you know, if we choose love over stigma, we can go way further than, you know, where we are now. Even with ourselves, because sometimes us living with, we stigmatize ourselves, you know, a lot, not even knowing that we're doing it. You know, and we do it, and then, you know, when we hear it elsewhere, it's like, oh, okay, you know, and sometimes that's that self-awareness that, oh, that's the same thing that I was doing to myself, you know. So self-love and love overall will drown out stigma any day.
Hey. That's what I'm talking about. What you got to say, Miss Marsha? I see you over
No,
here.
I was looking at my love person out there. He's my new love person.
Yes, ma'am. He's going to be next. You know what? Again, I am so glad that you both took the time, that you felt, that you held me in such a regard, that you agreed to do this.
If you start crying,
You know, I was about to say, don't do that, because you know it's coming.
You already know.
You know
For
it's
y'all
coming.
advocates who don't know, Yaya will cry at the drop of a hat.
Y'all see her, just have her some Kleenex.
That's it. That's all.
I do. There was something you asked me if I would say something about stigma. I do want to say this. I hate it.
Yeah.
I know people probably don't believe me, you know, when I say I don't ever recall, especially as it relates to HIV, I don't even really think that stigma was a thing that wrapped around our heads and our minds. And I think I'm older than anybody in here, so I think I can say this. I'm the girl that's almost 70 here.
Girl.
But I, even back at the beginning of HIV, and it's just, we're in like 45 years now, I think. And my nephew, it's hard, I can't ever talk about this without talking about my nephew, if that's okay. And so my nephew, Jimmy, he was a black gay man. I don't even remember calling him gay. I just know he was my nephew, my Jimmy.
Yeah.
And I remember, he was a musician, so I remember when he left Dallas like so many artists would do, you know, because they knew that they were sick, they didn't want anybody to know they were sick. And I never remember stigmatizing him because he was a black gay man. I just never knew there was a thing. And so when they started talking about HIV, this thing, and I remember saying, oh God, all my friends are going to be gone. And I always like for people to know how far we've come, but how far we've not come.
Yeah.
Because literally, I'm not 70, but I am 60. I'll be 65 on my birthday. And every black man that was a gay black man that was a part of my life, and I had a lot of them, they're all dead.
Yeah.
They're all dead. And you know why they're dead?
Stigma.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, there was medicine. But what happened if they took the medicine or whatever? Then they had to acknowledge that they were gay, or they had to acknowledge that they have. And so it was stigma.
Right.
So many people died from stigma. And so I hate stigma, especially as it, I know you didn't ask me all this. That's why I didn't want to talk about stigma. I hate it as it relates to HIV. Yeah. And I love the fact that, believe me or not believe me, I don't think, I know I have never operated in it as it relates to stigmatizing people.
Yeah.
I just, what you're saying about love, because I don't like you. I don't care if you could be like crippled or have no legs. If I don't like you, I don't like you.
Yeah.
One thing has nothing to do with the other.
It doesn't.
Stigma and not being... So stigma and sympathy or feelings, they're not the same thing.
Yeah.
So don't get that. So I don't get to say, oh, I feel sorry for you.
Yeah.
Right.
But yet I can feel sorry for you, or I can empathize with you and still stigmatize you.
Yeah.
So I don't want people to get that mixed up because you have sympathy for somebody or empathy for somebody. You don't stigmatize people. So I hate stigma. There's absolutely no reason that we should stigmatize people.
Yeah.
There is absolutely no reason that people should be stigmatized. People should just be people, and I don't care what that stigma lie in.
Yeah.
If it is around who you love, if it is around who you are, don't be stigmatizing me because I'm a fat girl.
Right.
I'm gonna be a fat girl in a fat casket, whatever, because I'm gonna be a fat girl. Yeah, listen, you know what I'm gonna say. And so that's what I want to say. Like, stigma shows up in so many ways, and the harm that it do. When I tell this story, I like for people to know. They always go, "Oh, they were probably diagnosed when there was not med." No, there was medicine.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They died because of stigma.
Yeah.
They would much rather die from a disease than live with stigma and shame.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
And we are so much. We are still. We may not be as bad, but we are so close.
Yeah.
And I know we're still in that same place, because if we wasn't, we wouldn't have to be having these kind of conversations.
Yeah.
Come on with it.
We wouldn't even have to be doing this. Mm-hmm. So I just wanted to say that that's the only thing I can say about stigma. And you don't nobody have to teach you to not stigmatize.
Right.
See, if you got a family, and I don't want to, I'm gonna say you got me here now.
Go ahead, say it.
If you have a family, your family start treating you different because they found out that you are a person living with HIV, they ain't love you before they know you had HIV. They had some issues before then.
Yeah.
Or it's something about your diagnosis that's showing them who they really are inside, and they can't live with that, because there is no way in the world that I would have felt the same. I would have felt the same way if she would have said I'm pregnant. Mm-hmm. I would have been like, so we gonna keep it or what?
Right.
What we gonna do?
Because that was the exact thing. So what we doing?
What we doing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's where I'm at. What we doing? All the other stuff is irrelevant.
Yeah.
What are we doing? And so that's the way. And that's the way we're supposed to be with our families.
Yeah.
When my nephew, I was just like, you can come live with me. Mm-hmm. You don't have to do all that other stuff. You can come live with me. I wasn't even with my husband at the time, and I lived upstairs. He said, I can't walk up and down those stairs. I said, I can take you up and down the stairs. Because I seen my nephew, I didn't see that. So that's all I wanted to say. I'm not an academic, and I don't have all the words, and I don't have all the things. But what I do know is that stigma, it's learned.
Yeah.
And I do know that anything that's learned can be unlearned.
It can be unlearned.
And so we don't have to stigmatize. We don't have to do that.
Yeah.
We don't have to do that. If we put love first, then I guarantee you, kind of what Taquan said, I guarantee you, if we look at people through the lens of love, we absolutely will not. It will be impossible to see stigma, because just like oil and water, stigma and love cannot stay the same place.
Ooh, girl, what a word, what a word. You know what, Miss Marsha? And I think, Taquan, you can address this. So, yes, those of us who are living with lived experience, I'm not one of those people. Taquan isn't one of those people. But a lot of people who are with lived experience have experienced externalized stigma. But what about that internal stigma, Kwani?
If you don't get a hold of it, you can find yourself in a really dark place. I did it to myself for a long while, if I wouldn't have did this, if I wouldn't have been here, if I would have, if I wouldn't have ran away, and, oh, this is that, until I learned and understood that while I do have a diagnosis, I didn't do anything wrong to necessarily get here. And it took me a long time to realize that, I didn't have to come up with all of the things, like I say, being so young, I was always stuck trying to figure out what was I going to say.
Yeah.
When I had to say, that I'm positive, because it couldn't just be as simple as I had sex, so what was I going to say, what was going to be my story?
Right.
And that just didn't work out for me. I just went in a hole, and felt like it was best for me to be over there. I had access to medicine and stuff, but it was better, for me to sit over there and feel sorry for myself versus, taking the steps that I needed to. Well, I felt like I needed to, because I didn't even know where to begin. But, yeah, it can definitely lead you to a dark space and place where you don't have to be, because what I eventually learned while I did have my family, always from the beginning, I kind of didn't even realize that I was being stigmatized sometimes, because my family support was so great You know, like I had them. So when I went places, you know, I didn't, and I wasn't having it anyway. So if I just thought it was, I was already ready to go. But I can remember,
Doctors, the nurses, everybody.
I remember the first time that I experienced stigma by way of the healthcare system. I was about to have a surgery, and while I have lost my vision completely now, I still had a little vision at that time. And one of the doctors that came in, it was a nurse assisting me. I had a rosary around my neck, and she was taking it off. He put up a sticky note that says she's HIV positive. He didn't know that I could, you know, see it. So, and I was like, oh, whoa, you know, I think he just played me. But, you know, that was the first time I had witnessed it. I wasn't in my bag where I am now. I still addressed it, but not, you know, with in the way that I would have now, you know, to challenge that, you know, in the way that I can now. I wasn't equipped. Well, I probably was. I just probably hadn't reached deep enough in my bag to get it. But, you know, even, you know, just I look back on that and I'm like, today that would have went way different, you know, and it wouldn't have even just been out of anger. You know, I would have been able to challenge that in a way where he would have understood this ain't that, and that's not how you treat people. You know, I'm a human being. The diagnosis is something that sits here with me. I was here first.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah. You know, you don't just that's a little piece on my resume. Like a small piece over there on my resume. My diagnosis is not my being.
I like that.
I love it. You know what, y'all? I'm so incredibly glad that we got to spend this time together today. Thank you all.
Thank you.
This is not the end of the story. You all want to see Miss Marsha. Y'all want to see Kwani, Mrs. Penny. Visit the Woo Project. They are having an upcoming event on June 27th called Get Tested, Grab a Bag over at Beckley Senior Recreation Center. This is not the last that you will be seeing of them.
Not the last.
Not at all. Thank you again for having us.
And
Thank you.
Thank you for just being you.
And y'all remember, love is greater than stigma.